All right, we are fresh back off the boat from Cozumel, Grand Cayman, and Jamaica, and have we got a treat for you today, ladies and gentlemen. You're about to meet the one, the only Dave Conord, who has taken this company in less than a year from, less than 13,000 agents to over 25,000 agents. You're going to meet the man himself right after this. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to Cliff's Notes. I'd like to say hi to my distinguished co-host, C3, for those of you who know my son. And you look good, man. You look like you just got back from vacation.
Yeah, I got a little more sun on me this time than in the previous times, but it was great. I had a great time.
Yeah? So out of those 3, Cozumel, Grand Cayman, and Jamaica, what was your favorite?
I like Jamaica. Maybe it was just because of where I was at and what kind of excursion I did, but it was really fun, and it was a good time. So
you were on the beach, right?
Right.
All right.
So it was a little more relaxed than the other excursions that we had done.
Yes.
So.
And Travis, I do want to let you know, we did do the missing man formation at the beach bar there for you.
No, the only thing I really want to know is, did you guys come back with one of those dread hats that they sell out there in Jamaica? That's what you should have wore it today on the show.
You mean like the Billy Gibbons hat from ZZ Top?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, we didn't. But I'll tell you what, we do have somebody who knows about dreadlocks, and Mr. Conord, are you out there, sir? Dave Conord, where are you? Hey.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Hey, it's great to see you, Dave. And for those of you in the audience who don't know Dave, Dave is president of your growth, all about growth and expansion at eXp. And man, I'll tell you what, if there's anybody who is a growth-minded individual, it is you. And we're so excited and just delighted to have you on the show today, Dave.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and I thought there was a dress code, so I cut the dreads off before the show today. So,
well, you clean up pretty good there, my friend. I'll tell you, that's great. So, Dave, golly, man, you're doing such a fantastic job leading our company along with Jason and Stacy and Glenn and the rest of the executive team, and we're just so excited to be a part of this phenomenon. I mean, it really is. Incredible to think that when I joined the team here, we had about, 1,500, maybe 2,000 agents, and we're over 25,000. And, much of that has come under your stewardship. And, we're very thankful for some of the great things you've done for the company. But, for the benefit of those who are watching today who don't know Dave Conord, guys, you're in for a treat. If I could, Dave, I'd like to take us back a little bit and just kind of introduce you as someone who got into the real estate business. You got in right out of college, right? Will you take us back a little bit here and just tell us, what was that moment like when you decided that real estate was for you? How did you know that?
Yeah, gosh, to go way back. So when I graduated from college, I got a degree in international business. And so I spoke a couple different languages and got into the telecom industry as it was deregulated, and worked for a great company, a bunch of engineers who had some cool products looking to sell them internationally. So I had a chance to kind of be the face of the company as a really young person and get out there and build businesses, work with governments of third world countries, work with entrepreneurs all over Africa, South America, and some in Europe. Really, really great time to be doing that. A great experience for me. We were able to build the company pretty large But at the end, the guys that owned the company became very, very successful, and I was really happy for them. They were great to work with, great opportunity. But you know, I got a bonus, and it was a nice bonus. Being 25 years old, you get a nice chunk of change. But I realized pretty fast that if I wanted to build wealth and be successful, I needed to be on the other end. I needed to get into some kind of ownership or have some kind of control over my business. So of course, real estate is where you go to be super wealthy and run your business. So that's where I went, and I paid my way through college building houses. So I was familiar with the housing industry somewhat. So I started off selling new homes, got into sales in general, started getting into a little bit of development work, and was fortunate to do fairly well getting started. I had some great mentors, which I think is always the case, great coaches and mentors that help you be successful and kind of cut out some of the mistakes that maybe they had made. So we were able to grow pretty quickly, and then started looking into brokerage opportunity. And that's when I was introduced to some folks over at, I was at Keller Williams at the time, is where I started off on the brokerage side. And we were able to open up the first Keller Williams brokerage in the Maryland, DC region. So there were some other folks and ourselves, and we launched the first franchises and opened up that region. And that was, we definitely referred to it as the bleeding edge. I owned for a number of years the website kellerwho.com because no one heard of us. I would broke into new territories, and everywhere I went was a market where no one knew me and no one knew of the company, because they were fewer than 12,000 agents back then, and not in that area. So I would call and say, "Hey, it's Dave Conord with Keller Williams. Did I catch you at a good time?" And the first response was always, "Keller who?"
Williams? Yeah.
right, exactly. So I said, "It's funny you ask. Are you near a computer?" So I'd send them to the website, and we developed a whole thing around Keller who, and had fun with that until we were no longer there. We grew a number of franchises, became number one in market share in the markets where we existed with our franchises. We failed our way forward, made a lot of mistakes along the way, but had fun doing it. Great industry, and we're able to build those over the years.
Well, and we're also, I'm an alum of KW and have nothing but love and great things to say about that wonderful company. You actually you didn't just get started over there as a let's see, within 3 years you had a team doing what, 20 million, and then tell us about what happened after that. You actually got into the franchise side of things, right?
Right. So I was in sales first, and then I went straight into brokerage as an owner, and also stepped into. I'm a grower. I like to build companies, so I also took on the team leader role in our offices. So I was able to go into new markets, start up new market centers, new offices as the manager team leader position. So I did that for 9 years. In addition to being one of the owners, we opened up mortgage companies, title companies, etc. And so we did build those, and we got to the chance over time. I was an owner or partner in 11 brokerages. We had over 2,500 agents in that total group of offices that I was partnered in, and we went through the up market and the down market. We went through those that 07, 08 and beyond downturn. We learned a lot going through those, and then eventually I also became a regional director for the company. So the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware region, we were able to grow that. That region was not achieving its goals, we'll say, and so I had a chance to partner with the team over there, lead that regional franchise, and we built it up over 7,000 agents. We went from being one of the lowest ranking regions in the company to achieving number one in growth in 2 years.
So you really are all about growth. That's amazing. Well, it has been a long road, but that road hasn't always been smooth, Dave, along the way. Tell us about, if you would, one of the craziest moments, or what's one of the craziest things that happened to you along the way?
Yeah, pretty early on, right? So I was 27 years old, went out on a limb with a new company that we really hadn't heard much of. and gave up my sales business to take on a leadership position and to launch these franchises. And so just a couple months, it was 8 months in, I had a major boating accident, and it was pretty traumatic. It was one of those near-death experiences. The boat hit some rocks and crushed my head in, my skull. Ended up with one of the Life Flight shock trauma helicopters. So shout out to all of our shock trauma folks and our Maryland State Police and those serving in that way. But they flew me into shock trauma and spent a couple of days in surgeries and putting my head back together again. And it was a pretty long recovery. I mean, the total recovery lasted over a year, about a year and a half to really get back on my feet. But during that time, we had a new business to run. And so, you know, that's being just in a time where giving up the sales business, giving up a pretty good income of a very successful sales business, investing a ton of money into a new business, and then being kind of semi out of commission for a while. It does a couple things for you. Certainly puts things into focus on what's important in your life, and you have some time to think about where you want to go and who you want to be. So I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but I will say that you know, some of the good things that come out of something like that is extreme focus on where you want to go, what's important in life and what's not. So I spend a lot less time sweating the details, if you will, and really just going after it.
All right. Well, you know, you've boy, that's just it gives me goosebumps thinking about that. You have a lovely wife, a great family. At what point in your career did you get married? When did the family start?
Early. So actually, as I was graduating, I went to University of Maryland. So go Terps. Went to University of Maryland, and as I was graduating, I spent 1 year early on at Roanoke College, transferred up to Maryland. And as I was graduating, the school decided that they weren't going to take my high-level chemistry lab class that I'd taken at my previous school. And so I found out with cap and gown ordered, and I was already engaged, that I was not going to graduate. So I got married the summer after I should have graduated. And so I was 22 years old. And so I went back to school for one more semester, finished that. I had to go back and take a lab science, even though I was an international business major, go back and take a lab science. So I took a number of other classes. I also got a French degree while I was graduating. While I was there, got some foreign language degree and a few other minors. And then graduated. So for that first year, my wife was the bread earner and she was in education. So we learned how to be very creative with grocery shopping and expenses for a while.
Ramen noodles, macaroni and cheese.
Yep. And I was blessed to marry a fantastic cook. My wife had been a chef, and she had been training to be a chef before getting into education. She comes from a great Italian family. So she is an amazing cook, and she can do amazing things with a really small budget. So I was very blessed. We did not starve.
And your wife is wonderful. We had the opportunity to meet her. I think where were we out in by the pool? Was that in Vegas?
Yeah,
I think
Vegas.
it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, you have such a great family, and you're a man of faith as well. And how do you handle the life work balance? What advice can you give agents out there, Dave? You've really accomplished a lot. How do you manage the rest of the wheel? You know, the family, the faith, the finances. How do you keep everything in line?
Yeah, that's a good question. I will say that, you know, having a good partner in life is critical. You know, it's something where it's definitely a team effort for my wife and I. She carries a lot of the load for us, and she, you know, is a great mom and a great partner. And she knows when there's times when I've got to be focused on work, and she jumps in and handles more than her fair share. And I try to make sure that doesn't happen too often, and I give her a break, and then I jump in and handle my part as well. So we work well together in that aspect. Very blessed there. You know, I would say for me that I am probably a person of extremes, so that I spend some times where I am hyper focused on work and my head is buried because we've got to get some things done, right? We have some things there, and a lot of times I'll go to my family and say, hey guys, you may not see me for a little while the next couple of weeks. And I focus on being around and present as much as possible, but they know that I may be traveling, or I may be working on the weekend on getting some things done, or I may spend more hours in my office than usual. But then I also try to make sure that I completely unplug at other times and be present, so that I've got some time where we're spending time just together and work is not interrupting. And I'm pretty good about putting a wall up and saying, hey, I'm not available during these times. We recently spent a month in Europe. I got a chance to travel through a number of different countries and just be focused for 30 days on my family, which was great. And they know that they come first. I mean, and I tell people very clearly, if you're ever asking me to choose between you or my family, unfortunately, you're going to lose every time. So if there's an emergency happening here or an emergency happening at home, I'm at home. And that's, they know that they're my priority. And other than that, like I said, it's back and forth with a lot of time over here and a lot of time over here. And that whole trying to walk the tightrope of 50-50 every day and every week, I don't think is very practical.
Dave, you're a tremendous team builder and a great people picker. What kind of advice what is the best piece of advice, let me rephrase that you can offer somebody in real estate who's excited about building a team? What can you lay on us right here, right now, that's gonna help accelerate that process and make sure it turns out good?
Sure. Yeah. So, I think there are a couple of really important things to keep in mind that, maybe on the surface sound easy or simple, but they're really not. One of the things that I would definitely recommend for people to do is to sit down first and to think about what they're trying to build. What's the outcome that they want? And what's the culture of what they're trying to build, and what do they represent? A lot of times people hire out of desperation, or they hire for a task, and it may not fit into the overall big picture. And I think it's really important for people to sit down. I actually have I can't go through all of it here, but I've got the 5 P's of team building that I've put out there, and I'll be happy to send you guys a copy of it. But really goes into creating the big picture of what you're building first, and then finding people that fit that. And there's a culture and a mindset and everything else in doing that. So that's number one. The second one is looking at your goals and where you want to go. Sometimes there's this out there, it's taught to build mega teams, and it's glorified. The more people you have on your team and all of that sort of thing, and you really need to look at your personal goals and what you want and where you want to be spending your time, and then build a team that fits that and gets you there. So you may just need 1 admin. You may need 5 admin, but you still want to be the personality and be the person that works with the clients all the time. You may want to leverage all of that time with the clients and be a manager and a leader of the team, and you're going to hire those positions. So you have to think about what you enjoy doing and where you want to be, and then how much business you want to ultimately build, and structure a team to fill that out. So that's kind of the second one. The first one is, get that clear picture of that kind of culture and environment and where you want to go. The second one is look at what you enjoy doing and what you want to leverage, and what size business you're looking to build. And the third one would be to hire first for attitude, right? Hire for that cultural fit, hire for an attitude, someone that's going to help drive your business forward that way and be a good fit with you. And then secondarily, hire for skill. Skill can be taught. You're not going to change someone's attitude typically. That's a lot harder to do. So get someone that has that right attitude, it's good cultural fit, know in advance what you're looking for and who you want to be working with and who's going to be a good representative of your business, and hire to that. Those to me are some of the big, there's a saying, you can spend the time on the front end or you can spend the time on the back end, but either way, you're going to spend the time, right? Yeah. And I got to tell you,
that's true.
Front end time is so much better than back end time, right? Back end time is correcting and fixing and that kind of stuff. Front end time is planning, but most people jump into it and don't do the planning, and then kind of what you get, and you don't get upset. So I encourage people, do the front end time.
You're talking to the choir here.
Right.
As coaches, we one of the things that we've noticed is if you look at the bad hires that we've made and other people have made, it really boils down to not a good culture fit. It's so important to sit down with potential candidates and go over the culture of the company that you're trying to build. That's how great companies like Apple and Google and others, that Harley Davidson, these companies that are just they exude culture. People would jump in front of a train to save their company. It's really a unique thing that you got to focus on. So Dave, tell us why is eXp the best place for building a team now?
Okay, good question. And I think from a segue too between those two thoughts is that you talk about people being willing to jump in front of a train for their company and that sort of thing. Our company, we are, if not the fastest, we're certainly among the top fastest growing real estate companies in North America. And we grow 100% organically. We're a by referral only business, if you will, right? We don't have paid recruiters, managers, team leaders, or anything else that are out there holding appointments and making phone calls and recruiting people and signing them up. Everyone that's joining our company is coming through a relationship they have with another agent. And so our growth is 100% organic. And that only happens because our agents are not recruiters either, right? I mean, they're realtors. Their job and what they love to do and what they're focused on is growing their real estate business and serving their clients. And so for anyone to take any time away from doing that, to speak to other people about an opportunity, about eXp and what it's like here and that sort of thing, they have to be highly enthusiastic about it, right? We need to have those raving fans. And that's really the secret behind the growth is that for us at the company, instead of putting effort into growing the company and recruiting and having our staff do that, our staff is fully engaged in keeping our agents happy, if you will, serving our agents. We call it being agent success obsessed. We've actually developed a hashtag around that. We hashtag agent success obsessed on everything we do. Everyone on staff is focused on that. We use Net Promoter Score. So for those that are not familiar, it's acronym NPS. And the NPS is something everyone's probably done it if you've ever shopped online or in some other places where you get a survey that pops up that just says, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to refer our company to a family or friends? And then in a little dialogue box to type in what factors most influenced your choice on how you rated us, right? And you get to talk about what you like or don't like about your experience with the company. They're NPSing you, right? And so that Net Promoter Score shows them on a customer satisfaction level where they stand with their customers. And that will be how, their scores tie into how likely customers are to come back and use you again, and how likely they are to talk to you about their friends, right? And promote you out there. And the higher the NPS, the more likely you're going to go viral as a company and your business is going to grow. So we understand that for us to grow and succeed, we need our agents to be really happy. And so we not only ask them how we're doing on a regular basis through their interactions, when they close a transaction with us, when they go through the onboarding and joining process, when they when they interact with our accounting department or anything like that, they get a quick survey it's optional, but they can fill it out and just let us know how we're doing each time. You even see it now in the coming out of the bathrooms at stadiums and that sort of thing. There's a little thing with the 5 faces, happy face to sad face, and it says, how do we do on our cleanliness? And you can just walk out and press one of the buttons. They're NPSing the experience at the stadium or venue. So we do this on a regular basis. We also do it quarterly. So all of our agents receive a quarterly survey, real simple, couple of questions where they get to identify where we're serving them well and where we have opportunities for improvement. And this is not an exercise that we go through. The entire executive team and leadership team and the leadership teams on all of our different departments all get the results sorted for them. We've got a whole program that breaks it down for us, helps us to easily identify our wins and our areas for improvement. And then we get the actual response feedbacks. We don't know who sent it, but we know what they said. And we're able to go through and make corrections and make changes and make improvements. We get so many great ideas from our agents on things that we can do to serve them better, or just cool new ideas and things that we could implement. Or we also know, hey, agents love this, don't ever change this. And we key in on that. So we check that on a regular basis. So as far as an agent being here to grow their business, it's a great place because we're focused on making it a great place. That is our sole focus, because we want to retain the people we have and we want to grow. So when it comes to doing anything, being a brand new agent, right, we're looking at how are our new agents doing in coming into the business, learning the business and getting started, getting going so they can stay in the business and grow a business that funds their life. Same thing for productive agents of all different levels, all the way up to our mega icon teams that come over doing hundreds of millions of dollars in volume, right? We're serving them as well because we know that that's an attraction point for others to go where the leaders are going. So for teams, we have a team structure and we offer a lot of cool things for teams as far as coming in and different ways for them to assess their business and look at how the people on their team are doing. Being a technology-enabled company, right? We're a real estate company, not necessarily a tech company, but we're a real estate company that is focused in on the technology and using that to help our agents' lives be better, help their businesses grow. And so we're very focused on that. Having a platform that is tech-enabled like that, right? We have to be able to operate remotely across the world. Right now we're in Canada and Australia and UK, as well as the United States in every state. And so, we have to be able to do business remotely and make it easy for our agents in order for us to grow and succeed. That trickles down, if you will, to the teams, because teams can interact at a very high level without having to drive somewhere and go do it. And that allows an agent to grow a team anywhere. You can expand in your market, right? And you can also expand outside of your market into nearby markets and expand your team that way. Or you can expand anywhere in the world. Honestly, I mean, you can go anywhere that we do business. And we have eXp World with team rooms. So we have people that have teams, an expansion team that's all over the country, and their entire team can meet together virtually in this room, have discussions, talk to each other, throw things up on the screen, collaborate on documents, collaborate on ideas. Team leaders can do training for their teams without having to make them all go into a room or find a room that's available, et cetera. Bring everyone in. If you bring new agents onto your team or newer agents and you want to teach them some things on contracts or teach them how your business operates, bring them into a room, throw that information up on a screen, go through a contract with them, go through the newest listings that are coming up that everyone needs to know about. You have all your buyers agents, great. Let's show them all of the listings that we have as a team. Let's talk to them about the selling features and what might be attractive to buyers and how to walk someone through the property and to highlight certain things and talk about the neighborhood. I can give them all that information together, put it up on a screen and show them, and then everyone can go out and do their business. So lots of different tools like that allow teams to operate to scale and make it very convenient. But those things are all done at no additional cost to the company, which means they're also no additional cost to the agent. So that allows us to keep our structure very low. I mean, we've got a $16,000 cap, right? So it's a low cap. Team members are half. So it's an $8,000 cap for them. And our mega icon teams, high level production, go down to a quarter cap for their team members, $4,000. So it's really a financially a great model for our agents where they're able to give, the team leaders are able to give a great compensation structure to their agents, which allows them to attract and retain talent. And build that business around them and make it a win-win for the people on their team.
Yeah, no question. And retention starts day one here at eXp, and that's what we're all about, whether it's retaining team members or agents or employees. And let's talk about for a minute some other things, because you've hit on all of the real estate or a lot of the real estate points as to why somebody would want to bring their real estate team here. What are some of the additional benefits that team leaders or small brokerages could bring to their agents, other than just the cost structure, the platform, the level of service that we provide? What else does eXp provide for agents?
So there's a ton of training. One of the things that I love about our platform is the way that we're able to deliver information to our agents so that they can succeed at a high level. I talked about the benefit to me. As I grew in my business and my professional life, having great mentors and teachers and coaches who could bring their experience to me. And I think that's so critical. This platform allows our top agents to share their knowledge and secrets, if you will, and their success with all of our agents very easily. As a broker owner, an operator, and working with other large brokerages across the country over time, I know one of the constant concerns is not only providing good content and information, which was one, right? How do you gather all the good content and information to help people succeed? But number two is, how do you get people in the classroom? How do we fill the classes? We would have a great course schedule and 2 to 3 people would show up because it didn't fit into their schedule, right? It was hard for them to drive across town and to get into the class, and they've got, whether they're showing clients or they've got family obligations, et cetera. And it was hard to offer classes that work for everyone. So offering classes in the cloud, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, the training, and just if you would, I mean, I have brokerage owners and so forth who've been grinding away for years, and they're looking for a way to harvest their business. And so, it's very, we all know, you can't sell a business or a team here for anything what you've put into it. Why would eXp be a good place as far as wealth, strategies and wealth generation for somebody who's, say, owns a small brokerage that has already put the time in, and now they're looking for how are they going to, what's their exit strategy, Dave? What can we offer them?
Yeah, we have found a great fit for broker owners. We had over 152 brokers merge into eXp last year. It was almost half of our growth was brokerages folding into eXp. And for a broker owner, it's a combination of, it's probably been a labor of love. It's the baby, it's blood, sweat, and tears and time that's gone into it. Let's face it, there's a little bit of ego behind it, and not in a negative way, but just, hey, you own something, right? It's your business. But often it's not the long-term opportunity that people are seeking. So what I found with business owners and the broker owners, it was the next step for them from where they were as a high-producing agent. And they've done it for a while, and now they're looking into, okay, what's next? What do I do with this now? Because for some, it's gotten into the management of the business, which is not as exciting if you're a builder, which let's face it, most of them built a sales business, built the brokerage business. They want to go build something else, not babysit it. And but it's hard to pull out. As you said, most find there's very little value. There's all these dreams of, I'm going to sell it to a big company and make millions. And it's really not the case when you break it down. I've gone through a ton of M&As with broker owners, and it's unfortunately just not how it works, because they are the secret sauce behind it. And with them out of the equation, the value goes down.
Right. So what can we provide as far as long-term wealth generation? Say, for example, let's talk about revenue share just for a minute, and opportunities for equity accumulation. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why our model is so attractive, because if you think of it in terms of maybe a leveraged buyout, but it's where the buyout increases instead of decreases over time, right? So when they come on board and they bring their business here, then those agents that were part of their brokerage become part of what I refer to as their virtual brokerage. Those agents, they're no longer responsible to them in the same way they were. They don't have the liability. They don't have the responsibility. They don't need to have the space, the tools, the staffing, or anything else. So their expenses go down potentially to zero, right? So they get rid of all the overhead and all that stress and concern about those expenses and the operation and the liability and all of that. However, because those agents are part of their organization, we reward people for helping the company grow through revenue share. So all of those people that come over under them as part of that team. And as they close transactions, just like they did before, rather than getting company dollar off of that split, they get a portion of the company dollar collected by eXp. And so that's our revenue share. So on every deal that those folks close where we're collecting company dollar, we're collecting revenue, they're getting a portion of it, but it's a 7-level system. So those people have the opportunity to also refer people to eXp and to help the company grow and collect revenue share. So bonus, that's a retention tool and an opportunity tool for people on their brokerage that they're bringing with them, but that also helps feed their revenue share. And so that's where the growth factor comes in. And if you are a builder and a grower, and typically, very typically, these broker owners are people of influence, right? They have succeeded. People look to them. I call it the Prairie Dog Effect. Someone like that moves, all the heads pop up and look around and go, where'd they go? Right? They go, where'd you go? Why'd you go there? And do you like it? That's what people want to know. And
sure.
And so it creates this opportunity for you to use your influence to share with others. Hey, I've done all the stuff. I've been in sales. I ran a team. I've owned a brokerage, and I vetted this carefully. I didn't make this move, quickly without looking into it. And this is a tremendous opportunity. And here's why. They look up to you. They respect you for what you've accomplished. It's an opportunity to influence others. NAR says that 92% of agents are at the company they're with because they knew somebody there, right? Everyone's referring people to brokerages anyway. That's how we work as realtors. And so, here we reward you for doing that. And so it's an opportunity for them. So their team, they continue to receive company dollar in revenue share from their team, from all their agents, from their brokerage as they do business, but it will grow from there. You can continue to add people, and the people that you brought over add people. Your area, your market expands all of a sudden internationally, right? No longer is it just your local market where you're adding to your local brokerage. I need to find people who are within driving distance, if you will, of your office. Now you can use all those connections. You're probably attending events and part of masterminds and coaching programs and other groups, and have friends and other independent broker owners and other top producing agents all over the country and potentially the world that you have relationships with. And here you can utilize those to grow your business, to grow that virtual business, if you will, to expand your opportunity at a much larger level. And you get to go back into the fun part. You get to go back into growing a business without the liability. Let eXp take on the responsibility of caring for your agents, providing training, providing support, all the legal obligations, the broker stuff, the contract questions, everything else. We handle 100% of that with a lot of care for your people, and you get to go have fun, build your business, and still benefit from it.
Well, Dave, with that, man, I'll tell you what, that's some incredible value, I think, that you've just shown here for people in who's, are in those situations, independent brokers and so forth. I'm so excited that we had a chance to have you on the show today. I want you to promise me you're going to come back in 6 months or so and give us an update. Jason Gessing already said he would do so, and we'd love to have you back. I just want to thank you for, I know you're such a super busy guy, and taking the time to join us in the audience, and thank you for those words of wisdom that you laid out for building a team. And we're so excited. So I'd like to invite the members of our audience to meet you personally. You're going to be in Orlando coming up for our shareholders convention. If you'd like some information about that, you'd like to meet Dave, our people get out and shake hands and rub shoulders with everybody. They're very open and reachable. So I'd like to just extend an invitation to our audience to join us in Orlando. If they'd like to hear more about that, they can get a hold of us. Dave, you're accessible through the company website, and if you'd like to get a hold of C3 and I, you guys know how to do that through the show, and we can relay any messages that we'd like to Dave. If you want to get a hold of Dave directly, just come through us, and we'll be happy to do that. But Dave, again, in closing here, thank you again so much. Really appreciate it. So excited about what 2020 has in store for us as a company, and under your stewardship, along with the rest of the great leadership team, your co-president Stacy Onan and Jason and Glenn and the board and all the guys there and the gals that make all this happen. Thank you again for joining us today, and we'll see you in Orlando. Is that a good deal, sir?
Yeah, I can't wait. I love hanging out with you guys. I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for having me here, and do definitely just want to give a shout out to the whole team. This is such a team effort. We've got an amazing group that sharp and that care about the agents, and we have a lot of fun growing the business together. And the opportunity to interact with our folks is probably the most fun thing for me. So come find me in Orlando. Reach out. Look forward to it.
All right, sounds great. Well, guys, audience, thank you very much. It's great to see you all out there again. Good golf, good tennis. Get out there, get some exercise, just like I need to do, and we'll see you next week on Cliff's Notes. Thank you.